of Sports Tonight's championship round. Starting the number 5 position, he won here just 2 years ago from Milwaukee, Oregon, Dave Houston. His opponent in the opening chest is 2-time PBA champ Scott Devers, the only left-hander to survive the final cut. Falling out of the middle of the pack, it's newcomer Brian Alford out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Holding down the number 2 position is veteran Ernie Schlegel, who came within 1 game of leading this tournament. And on top of the leaderboard after 42 games is 30-year-old Ray Valdovino, making his first ever appearance on national television. And we're back at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl in Dublin, California. Brian Alford and Ray Valdovino, a couple of bunny rabbits in the championship match. Both these players had to qualify just to get to the tournament proper.
Tonight we've got 2 rookies responding to that kind of pressure bowling for their first title for both players.
So many times though, Mike, and we've talked about this, when a player makes the national finals for the first time, there's really no fear because they haven't been there before. And if you get off to a good start, you get this feeling that I can beat anybody. Put Earl Anthony out there, Mark Roth, Marshall Holman, it doesn't make any difference. And when you've got Ray Valdovino out there, a player who has never been there before, it'll be interesting to see how he handles the pressure.
Performance inductee Ray Valdovino. Ray was born in Sacramento, California, and lived in a small community where his father managed a 150-acre pear farm. In the evenings, Ray's father would go and bowl many of the top scratch leagues in the area. Ray would tag along and keep score for his father's team, and that's how he was introduced to the game. Ray's accomplishments on the lanes are memorable, with a high league average of .234, a total of 31 sanctioned 300 games, and 31 sanctioned 800 series, while competing as a USBC member for the past 50 years. His best year came on the PBA Tour in 1988 when he qualified for the top spot in the televised finals at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl. In addition to Ray's 300 and 800 series, he's most proud of the following accomplishments: the USBC California Championship first place scratch doubles, a string of 48 consecutive 600-plus series in the same league from 2004 to 2006. He was a 1992 PBA Western Region Pat Patterson Award recipient, and 1991 $10,000 Silver Dollar Classic champion, and a PBA regional title in 1990. Ray has found the time to operate Ray's Pro Shop for the past 49 years. He has coached and mentored many bowlers who have gone up to compete at high level both in youth and adult competition. Ray's new source of excitement in the sport is watching those he works with succeed. Please join me in welcoming Ray Valdovino to the California USBC Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, this is really happening. Thank you, Andre, for that introduction. Much appreciated. I must also thank fellow Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Dave Williams, for putting that profile together. Before I get started, I would like to congratulate the other inductees being honored here tonight. Mr. Larry Lobb, we know he's not here. Ms. Regina Abood, who just spoke, and of course, Bonnie and Wayne Garber. It is especially gratifying to be inducted tonight along with Wayne because we were doubles partners for a long, long time. We made numerous PBA finals. It was a great run, partner. Thanks for holding me up all those years. But mainly, thank you for all the wonderful memories. When Andre called me a few months ago to tell me I was being inducted into the California USBC Hall of Fame, I was at a loss for words. I could barely get out an audible thank you through all the tears. In fact, the poor guy was trying to give me more information about the award ceremony, but I was such a blabbering mess, I think Andre just stopped trying. So at this time, I would like to say more than just thank you to Andre, Lynn Matsubara, and the rest of their staff. I am truly, truly humbled and honored to receive this prestigious award. I've had a very long career with just a few memorable performances, but to be up here on the stage tonight, along with the other inductees, is just an incredible, incredible dream come true. I'm eternally grateful for this amazing award. I was asked to give a brief history into my career. I'm not sure how brief it will be, but please bear with me. As you've already heard, I grew up on a pear farm along the Sacramento River in a small town called Portland. On that farm, we had a huge barn that housed our ladders, tools, equipment, etc. But it was also on that farm where my parents helped shape my life by instilling a great work ethic in all of us, by making us understand the meaning of hard work and the value of a dollar. All my siblings worked at a very young age, and we helped contribute to the family expenses. I recall working 12 to 16-hour days during those hot summer months, but what I will always remember about working on that farm was a full-length bowling lane my dad had built in that barn. Granted, there was no oil on that lane. We used an old rubber bowling ball, and we used soda cans as our bowling pins. If I remember correctly, soda cans lasted maybe 3 to 4 games before they got crushed and almost unusable. Talk about bad racks. One day, that old barn caught fire and burned down. That's probably one of the saddest days of my life because there went my free bowling. But that was my first real introduction into this game we all love. On Friday night, I would keep score for my dad in both scratch leagues, and at the end of the night, I earned a whopping $5 for 6 hours of smoke-filled work. But above all, I was able to watch and marvel at all the top talent and absorb what it took to become a good player. On Saturday, my dad would let us off work early so we could go watch the Pro Bowlers show on television. In fact, I recall watching Mr. Larry Lobb win a few titles during my early years. I knew at a very young age I wanted to one day compete at the highest level. To be successful in any profession and life in general, there's usually someone who helps you along the way. That person for me was Dewey Bandy. Dewey was a layman at Lampard Bowl, and I worked as a desk person. After I got a shift at 1 a.m. in the morning, I would help Dewey with his duties for a few hours. Then in turn, he would teach me about lane maintenance and how oil affected a bowling ball. Dewey would run a pair of lanes for me every night with a different pattern. And I was very meticulous, so I would write down everything I saw in a notebook, and the next day, Dewey and I would go over those notes, and he would explain if I was correct or not. This knowledge was invaluable and gave me the opportunity to learn and develop my game. I will be forever indebted to him. During this period, I also opened up Ray's Pro Shop. I figured if I could learn and understand the dynamics of a bowling ball, I might have a slight advantage over the other players. Ray's Pro Shop has served me well for the past 49 years and gave me the ability to help my own teammates and hundreds of thousands of customers to this day. It also allowed me the chance to give back to the community, especially to all my junior bowlers. At this time, I would like to recognize and thank the special people in my life. To my wife, Donna, and my daughter, Lindsay, who unfortunately were unable to attend tonight's ceremony, I must thank them for their moral support system for all these years and for allowing me the freedom to coordinate many of our family vacations around bowling tournaments. I know that wasn't a lot of fun for them, but they never once complained. I love you both very, very much. In the audience tonight, I am fortunate to have a few of my siblings. My oldest brother, Catalino, who went into the Air Force right after high school, after he graduated high school, I was never able to have the pleasure to bowl with him, but I would like to thank him for his service to this country. My second oldest brother, Rudy, is an incredible auto mechanic, and he dabbled in this game and was pretty good. I was really proud to be known as Rudy's brother. But then, of course, I got better than him, and he became known as Ray's brother. My youngest sister, Janet, flew in from Atlanta, Georgia, to surprise me. She's an accomplished bowler in her own right, and it's always a pleasure to bowl mixed doubles and mixed team with her. I still can't believe you're here. What a wonderful surprise. Then there's my youngest brother, Stan. 1 year while bowling the state masters, Stan led qualifying with 1482, a 247 average, which is still one of the top qualifying scores of all time. Our local paper wrote an article and it read, Valdovino, master of state qualifying. My boss came in the next day. She's all proud, posted the article in the break room. And a few weeks later, my boss reminds me of this huge party she's having at our house, steak dinner of your choice, all the fixings, for her appreciation of a 3-year project our office had just completed. She said the information was in the break room. I go in the break room, I look at the note 3 or 4 times, and you guessed it, the party landed on the same day as the state master finals. So much for my boss posting the article, but not reading fine print. Thanks, Stan. That really was a nice article, but you cost me a great steak dinner. Also in the audience are a few of my teammates and friends, and you can tell who they are, as they all supported me by wearing Ray's Pro Shop shirts. Alan Taylor, one of my dearest friends, flew in from Arizona to be here. Alan and his father-in-law took over my pro shop inside Sunset Lanes after I had a car accident that laid me up for several months. Alan kept my spirits up after that disastrous accident, and I can never thank him enough for his help during my recovery. Thank you, my friend. Matt Weathers. Matt's mother asked if I could coach him. I agreed, but on one condition. He had to listen to everything I said and do it my way. We practiced for hours every day. Matt was unique because he didn't use his thumb. And since I was basically a straighter player, all I could teach him was how to read the ball, his ball reaction, understand ball layouts, and what to look for on the lanes, while teaching him to keep his feet slow, going to the line, and having excellent balance. He has a devastating strike ball, but my main focus was his spare game. We worked endlessly on his spare game. Some nights he never got to throw a strike ball in practice because I knew how important spares would be and they would pay dividends in the long run. When Matt finally joined the PBA, in just his 4th tournament ever, he beat the great PBA and USBC Hall of Famer, Mr. Ron Moore, in the championship match for his first PBA regional title at Yosemite Lanes in Modesto, home of Bonnie and Wayne Garber. That was a very proud moment for me. Rick Goishi. Rick and I go back a very long ways. He sponsored me in several high roller tournaments, as well as on the PBA tour. We both lead together and a lot of senior tournaments. Plus, he's part of my Open Championship teams and another loyal customer. Thank you for your support. Will and Sylvia Chardonnay. I knew Will and Sylvia from bowling local tournaments. When they moved to Sacramento, they sought me out. I'd been thinking about retiring from the pro shop business for quite a while. As luck would have it, I made a few adjustments to both their grips, and the next thing you know, Will is pounding out 300s and 800s at an alarming rate and winning tournaments. As for Sylvia, she doesn't bowl as much as Will, but she recently returned from the Women's Open Championship in Las Vegas and just missed the top spot in singles in the Ruby division, shooting 688 and falling short by just 4 pins. She currently sits in 3rd place. Will and Sylvia never stop raving about my work, and the next thing I know, I get 15 to 20 new customers every year through their recommendations. So much for retirement. Thanks, Will and Sylvia. Rob Reyes, Curtis Wong, Shirley Worley, my league teammates, my tournament teammates, my loyal customers, and my good friends. I can always count on you three to show up at any time, any tournament I sign us up for, to say when and where. Your loyalty and friendships cannot be measured. Thanks for always being there. To everyone I just mentioned, thank you for attending and supporting me all these years. Much, much love. I must also thank my sponsors, Storm Bowling, Vice Inserts, and I Am Bowling, for believing in me and supplying me with the best products in the business. I couldn't have succeeded without you. Lastly, I would like to thank Brandon Muranaka. Brandon was unable to make it tonight because he and his wife, Alyssa, just had a baby boy, Kenzo. If it weren't for Brandon, I probably wouldn't even be here. Brandon handles all my social media pages and worked extremely hard on submitting my application to the Hall of Fame committee and helped make this night possible. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Brandon. In closing, to Lynn, Andre, and the entire staff, thank you once again for making this a very special night, which I will always remember and cherish. Finally, for me, this award is a culmination of my desire, determination, drive, hard work, and effort I put forth into this game. All I ever wanted was to gain the respect of others through my performances, and I'm living proof that you can achieve your goals and dreams when you work hard and believe in yourself. To my parents in heaven, who helped instill that tremendous work ethic in me and my siblings, this award's for both of you too. Thank you.